Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're here. AOR F2. Season 3, it's upon us this weekend. That's right, Season 3 of this absolutely crazy league. And I'm going to take you through the field for this season. And firstly, you got the Mercedes. Pomps for the win. 87 and Chimchar. These two from the F1 League tier have now come over to F2 this season because, well, they're a little bit naughty and run racing line, but they said they won't be running racing line, and they are hoping to get back into F1 next season. And I mean, who could blame them? I mean, F2 is crazy, but it's going to be absolutely crazy this season with these two. These two best results is actually 5th in AOR. That's their best result. That was back in season 1 though. But these two, I know Pomps for the win will be absolutely looking to get up there. Same with Chimchar. Both of them want to win this championship, no doubt about it. And I think Pomps is definitely a good chance to win this title. Chimchar, I could see Chimchar being a podium contender, maybe not a championship contender, but we'll see how things go. I think these two definitely a threat for this title. For the Constructors title especially. I mean, Mercedes won the very first Constructors title in F2, Oceania, with just 1503. So we'll see how things go. I think Pomps and Chimchar, I think, are the favourites for the Constructors title. Just my opinion. And, well, I'm the commentator, so I should have opinions. But, yes, let's move on to Ferrari now. So, Ferrari, 2 new drivers this season. Roscoe Arm, of course, has gone to the F1 tier, and Owens has gone to Force India now. Of course, Ferrari, the defending Constructors champions, and I know Ray 96 and Exodona will be wanting to get that Constructors title, and both of them a very, very big chance of getting that title. I feel like it could be a battle between Ferrari and Mercedes at the moment for this title. That's just my opinion. But Ray 96, of course, his best result in AOR was last season in the F1 tier, a 3rd in Spain. And he will definitely be, I think, one of the biggest threats to win this title. I think he's a massive chance to win this championship for F2. I think he's the favourite with somebody else, but I'll mention that person's name later on. And Exodona, whose best result was 2nd last season in Baku and Japan. Exodona was showing quite a bit of pace towards the end of the season in F2, but just things happened. It didn't really go right for him. And I could see Exodona get a few podiums this season. Maybe a title contender, but I think that'll be tough to see for him. I think he just needs to ramp it up just another level to possibly get a chance at being a title contender. But I think Rain will be probably the main title contender for Ferrari. Exodona, I think he will battle for podiums, but I think it'll be very interesting to see how it goes down with those two this season. So, yeah, Rain, Dona in the Ferrari, both of them will want to continue the success of Ferrari because Roscoe's gotten wins in this car, so has Owens. And whoever else was in the Ferrari, I'm guessing they got no results. As we move on to Red Bull. Red Bull, and Red Bull, this is going to be an interesting one for me because Red Bull, I drove for Red Bull last season, and Red Bull, a little bit of a curse. Let's be honest here, a little bit of a curse, Red Bull is. But I hope these two men can absolutely change that curse. I'm talking about the one and only Steve Bingham. And B Dubstep, new driver to the league this season. Of course, Mr. Conrad Strait, Mr. Steve Bingham. He got a 6th place, actually, in USA last season. And he gets some good results, top 10 results. Does the one and only Steve Bingham, and I think that's what his goal will be this season. Get some good results, especially with some faster guys in F2 this season. He'll be looking to get those good top 10 results, and I absolutely think he can. Meanwhile, B-Dub Seb, I think I think will do well. I mean, in the practice race, he looked very good in that race. Got a top 10. And I think he could be a top 10 contender. You know, these guys, a team like this who maybe not have the best pace in the world, look for like a top 5, top 4 in the constructors, or an aim in your championship position. Like, that's what I always used to do. As my phone's just gone off, and I've just ruined the preview. But never mind, because everything I do is just terrible. But yes, look out for Steve Bingham and B-Dubstep. I think they absolutely can definitely be up there this season for a good top 10, 6, 5, maybe a top 5 result. Because F2, you never know, folks. F2 is wild and crazy. As we move on to Force India. Force India, and these two men I know very well, the Benz Boys Force India team. It is Owens 1503 and DT360-1X. And point out here, of course, let's start off here with Owens. Owens this season is going for 3 Constructors titles in a row. 3 Constructors titles in a row. He wishes there was 3 championships in a row, but, well, he kind of didn't do well last season, let's just say. But he has 6 wins in AOR F2. I don't know if that's the most wins in F2. I should have checked that, but I'm sure I'll make that stat for the first race of the season in that stream. But yeah, Owens, it's an unknown with Owens, to be honest, and I'm not trying to be banter here. It's kind of true. Owens, he has his good days and he has his bad days, to be honest. But I could see Owens maybe pop up and get a win or 2, maybe. I don't know if a championship is on the cards for him. Of course, he's one or two who are looking for a second title in AOR F2 Oceania this season, along with Zombie Hunter. So, interesting to see how Owens goes this season. But DT, his teammate, of course, DT360-1X, my former teammate from last season and season 1. Of course, his best result is a 2nd place in Brazil, season 1. Let's not talk about that race. But, of course, last season he had 4 fourths last season. 4 fourths. And I think he'll be hoping to change that, no doubt, this season. And try to get a podium and even his first win of the season. But it's going to be a bit of a task. These two, if they have good, consistent results, they could be title contenders. Constructors contenders. Title contenders, yeah, okay. I'm kidding. They could definitely be constructors contenders, these two. I could definitely see it. But you just see those good, consistent results. Because you know what F2's like. One guy is up the front leading, and then your teammates just bottled it. So, anything can happen. It'll be interesting to see how this season goes between the Banter Boys Force India team. But, yeah, it is now time to move on to Williams. Alright, it's time for Williams now. And this season, it is that Matt and X still in the Williams for this season for AOR Oceania F2 Season 3. Firstly, is that Matt. Matt, again, one of those races in F2, and I don't mean to be, like, offensive or horrible here, but he can have, like, those up days, and he can have those down days. Like, last season, he qualified on pole position, I think, at the Bahrain Grand Prix, and, you know, he could have gotten a better result, Matt, that race, you know, and he did get a 3rd place in Hungary, which I did see that race. I was spectating it, and it was a very good result for him. And I think Matt, on his good days and bad days, he can definitely be a contender for the podium. Absolutely. And for what I've seen of Matt so far in F1 2018, he's definitely a contender for maybe a win. I don't know about a championship. I have to see how round 1 goes. That's the thing about some of these guys so far this season you have to look at, is that you have to wait and see how they go in round 1. And same thing with X Still. X Still I've seen in league races before as well. X Still, he can definitely... He's going to be one of those mid-pack runners, I think. And that mid-pack battle is going to be absolutely insane. in F2 this season. It's going to be absolutely insane. But who knows? I mean, we have to see what happens in round 1. That's the thing. I mean, I'm going by what I've seen so far. So, who knows? I think Williams, they can definitely get some good results. Luck might need to go their way, but I think results can definitely be had for them. So, now it's time to move on to Renault. Alright, now it's time for Team Jamie Renault this season. And of course, it has the defending champion of F2 this season, that being Zombie Hunter. And of course, the returning Penske DGR TP17. We're not going to say why he's returning, because I don't think he would want us to talk about it. But yes, Zombie and Penske back as a team. Of course, Team Jamie. Zombie has 7 wins in AOR F2. He's the most winning driver in AOR F2 Oceania. So he'll definitely want to keep those wins coming. I think Zombie, I don't know if he can win a back-to-back title, but I think he's got a chance. I think he'll be one of those guys definitely up there. Last season he could have won the title like 3 rounds before, but a lot of things happened last season. That's the thing about F2. You have to have luck in F2. That's the thing. That's what the F1 guys who've come over to F2 will slowly realise. You have to have luck, because carnage happens. Craziness happens. As DGR TP17 can tell you. Of course, Penske's best result was Season 1 Italy, after Exodona flipped Roscoe's car over somehow. So, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see how these two go. They will want to try to win the Constructors. Might be a bit of a task. No offense to them, but it might be a bit of a task. We'll see how things go for them this season. I think it's going to be a bit of a tough one, but I think it'll be very interesting to see how these two go, especially that DGR TP17. So, alright, now to move on to Toro Rosso. And this season, Toro Rosso will have Mr. Ike and a new driver, Calbo Oz. I hope I said that name right. I might be saying it wrong. And yeah, I say names wrong all the time. But Ike one of those guys, the mid-pack runners that could definitely get a good result. Good top 10, maybe top 5. Last season, actually, in Singapore, he got 4th. It was a great result for Ike Weiss. And of course, by the way, should mention, he was in the Toro Rosso last season. So, might be good for Ike Weiss. Stick to what he knows. Even though it's a new game, but stick to what he knows, and I think he can absolutely... That mid-pack battle's going to be interesting at the end of the season with the points. And Calbo Oz, not much I know about Calbo Oz. It'll be interesting to see how things go for him. The practice race didn't go well for him, but it'll be interesting to see how he goes heading into round number 1. So we'll look forward to that. Kawais and Calbo Oz, I'm sure they'll be a team to watch out for the mid-pack. No offense to you guys if I offended you by saying mid-pack. As we move on to Haas. Alright, time for Haas now. And this season in the Haas cars, it's Mr. Frizy and new driver to the F2 Oceania AOR League, that being Shory. Excuse me. Frizy, his best results last season were 10th place. He got 3 10th places in a row. I'm sure that's an achievement. I mean, I consider that an achievement. I mean, sometimes, even this game, getting a top 10, you know, I'm like, yippee. You know, I'm like, yes. But I know Fryzy's hoping to get into double points this season. So, and I think he can. I mean, a bit more practice under him, but I think he can absolutely be up there. Shory, he looked okay in the practice race. He did do a reasonably good qualifying lap. I think he's going to be one in the mid-pack, same as Frizy. Again, this mid-pack, this season in F2, is going to be insane. Absolutely insane, the mid-pack will be. And I think these two will, just get those points. Get some good, consistent points. I mean, if you're not, no offense to them, but if you don't think you're on the pace, if you could just get in those points, it's such a good feeling. And I think those two will be wanting that this season. Points, always a good thing. It's time for McLaren. McLaren this season, and this season it is Katia Foyle and Lego Rob in the McLaren this season. For you that do not know, Katia Foyle is Zombie's little brother. And that'll be interesting to see if those two, come to get on track. Katia, Zombie's in the lead and Katia Foyle maybe a lap down or something. Or what if they battle for the win? You don't know. But looking at the results from Katia Foyle in the practice race, he was in the mid-pack. In the mid-pack, kind of. So I can see Katia Foyle getting the points in there. Lego Rob, I don't know much about. So really, Lego Rob is going to be a thing we'll have to wait and see what happens at round 1 this season. So watch out for the McLaren boys this season. It'll be interesting to see how they go. But now, let's move on to the final team, Sabah, with a returning driver to F2. And the final team for AOR Oceania Season 3 F2 is in the Sabah, and it is VSR Chicane and Top Banter 07. Firstly, Chicane. A lot of people might remember Chicane. Preet Singh, LRT Chicane. He has driven in F2 before. He's won in F2 before. I'm going to say it right now. I think he is one of the main contenders for this title. Absolutely. I think he'll be a main contender for this season. And I think he'll definitely bring it to guys like Raid, Zombie, Palms, Chipchat. I think he'll bring it to those guys this season. And I think he'll do absolutely well. He's a very good qualifier. He is. Race pace, I feel like what I've seen of Chicane, race pace might be down a little bit. But I think he can definitely get those good results and wins. So I think, for me, Chicane will be a title contender this season. Top Banter looked like he had some great pace as well in the practice race as well, especially the qualified session that happened and the race. So, I think these two, another two that will be contenders for the Constructors title. Got to remember that. Constructors title's wide open in F2, folks. Wide open. So, look out for Sabah this season. I still have a soft spot for Sabah because I drove for them in Season 1. But, and reserves for this season, Sato 15 and TPR Edge. So, they'll be throughout the season as well. Folks, this Sunday, unknown what the time will be for the race, because that's being sorted at the moment because when the Russian Grand Prix is going to be on. So, we don't want to get, caught up with that and blah, blah, blah. But, yes, AOR F2 Season 3 this Sunday. Me and Captain Ferrari 89. So, looking forward to it. See you then.